Welcome to Lessons 18, Leveraging ChatGPT for Learning, Research, and Automations. In these sessions, we will explore how ChatGPT can become your personal learning assistant, research or also companions, and automations tools. So by the end of these lessons, you will know how to use ChatGPT for self-learning and educations. And number two, conduct efficient research with fact-checking and summarizations, and or automate repetitive tasks like email, drafts, content generations, and brainstorming. And number four is integrate ChatGPT into your workflows and tools for maximum productivity. So let's dive right into the Canva. So here we are in the our ChatGPT. So and imagine you are learning Python programming. Instead of browsing endless tutorials, you can ask ChatGPT. So if I'm gonna say here, if I say the explain, and let's say the Python, let's go with the Python's loops, or let's say the Python here, and say the or loops, something like I can use the I am, or say the over here, let's say the I'm beginners. So let's go with and beginners, and also give me or examples with step by step. So let's say the give me, let's say the let's go with the give me, let's use the give me example with or examples. So let's say the examples with, and say the step by step. Okay, so let's say the step by steps or explanations. So here, let's say the explanations in there, then press the enter. Okay, so ChatGPT will provide simple code examples and explain them clearly, and you can even ask follow-up questions. And here, so here we have explain Python loops like I'm beginners, and give me examples with step by steps explanations. So here you have the all right. So here there's two kinds of loops in the Python. So for loops, repeat a block a specific number of times, or go through items in collections like list. And while loops, there is also the absolute basics with the for, and step by steps over here. There is the example step by steps, and looping over real collections like list, strings, or dictionaries. So that's one, and this is our the examples. Okay, and step by steps, you can go ahead and use this one. And also you can use something, what's the difference between. So let's say if I'm gonna do have, and let's say the what's, or let's say the what's or what's the, let's say the difference, let's say the difference between while, let's say the loop and for loop. Okay, so here while loop and for loop. So let's say, and if I'm gonna now use it, so here, and we are here, ChatGPT provides the main differences, and there's the examples, example tools for the while loop, and this is the example one for the or for loop. Okay, so this is the or comparisons, and there is the example. So this transforms ChatGPT into a 24 or 7 days tutor that adapts to your pace. Okay, so let's go ahead the another example. and let's say we want to promote like something like here, let's say the explain, or let's go with and say the explain Newton's, or let's say the Newton's the third or law of motions, like with real life examples. So let's go with for let's say, and this is for the our kids, so let's say go with this one. And here now ChatGPT provides like the response, like, or here something, it say for every actions there's in an equal and opposite reactions. Okay, so here that means whenever one object pushes or pulls another, the second object pushes or pulls back with the same force but in the opposite directions. Okay, and this is the kid friendly examples like jumping on or trampolines, and like when you push down on the trampolines with your feet, this is the actions, the trampolines pushes you back up into the air, so this is the reaction, so that's why you bounce. And there you will find like the example tools like rowing a boat, when you push the water backward with an oar, so this is the actions, the water pushes the boat forward, so this is the reaction, so that's how the boat moves. So there you will find like the example 3 with the walking, example 4 like balloon and rocket, and this is the super fun for kids. Okay, so this makes complex topics easier to understand based on your learning styles, beginners friendly, advanced, or even with or analogies. Okay, so now let's move into the practice and quiz generations. So for that, so let's move into the new chat. So let's that way, and here you can also ask ChatGPT to like test yourself. So for example, let's say if I'm gonna say the create, or we can say the create 5 quiz questions, let's say on like let's say the one world war, let's say the world war 2, so let's say like that, this one the history, let's go with the history with and multiple, let's say the multiple choice like and answers. Okay, so and here we'll or ask the this one, and it will generate instant practice questions. You can, or here like when did World War II officially begins, like this one, this is the answers, and which countries were part of the Axis powers, like here we have the questions and multiple choice, and there is the answers. Okay, so and if you don't like it, you can just again and use the try again, or you can then say something like, let's say now, or check my answer, so let's say and explain why they are like say that they are right or wrong. Okay, so they are like they are right or say the wrong. Okay, so there's one, and here and that's it. So when did were like the two officially begin, your answer is 1939, so correct. So World War like two officially begins on September 1st September 1939, when Germany invade the Poland, and like there is the 2 days later Britain and France declare war on Germany. So like here according to the first questions, and here we have the answers, and there is also the explain why they are wrong or also the right. Okay, so This makes self-learning interactive and engaging. And now learning or language learning. So like if you're learning Spanish, like ChatGPT can act as a conversations partners. So for example, let's say if I promote something like say the chat with me, let's say chat with me in Spanish. So let's say like the this one, like over here about, or if I gonna say the about ordering and food uh, at a restaurant. And also now we can just say the current, or let's say the correct my mistake, and give me uh, the English. So let's say the English over here, and translations. Okay, so let's say the translations over here, and it responds in the, like it responds in the Spanish, or in Spanish point out the errors and explain the corrections. So here our perfect choice, like here we have like the this one. So I'll add the waiters, you will be customers. If you make mistakes, it, or I'll correct, or like the this one. Okay, so and that's it. So like here you can use the waiters, like there is the Spanish over here, and this is like the good afternoon, when, or welcome to the restaurant, how many people we will be dining today. So now it's turn, or your turn, how you reply it Spanish, like for examples, two peoples or just me. Okay, so this way, or you practice like conversations, grammar, and vocabulary without needing live tutors every times. Okay, so now let's move into the chat GPT for research. So like research can be overwhelming, articles, PDFs, reports. ChatGPT can summarize complex text in simple points. So for example, let's promote with the ChatGPT, and let's say the summarize, let's say the like we need to use summarize article, or like this is, or this article, or let's say the article about, let's say the climate changes, change into, let's say the 5 bullet point or points for school presentations. Okay, so let's say the presentations over here. And now ChatGPT reduce the long articles, and also or into the digestibles notes, saving hours of the reading. So like here, and you can now see we have like the there's one. So rising temperatures, like melting ice and rising seas over here, and extremes weather, like impact or nature, and also the people and global actions needed. Okay, so and that's it with the ChatGPT research. Or let's move into like comparing and constructing ideas. So you can ask ChatGPT to compare different theories, products, or the approach. And let's say if I ask ChatGPT, like say the compare, compare renewable. So let's say the renewable or the energy resource. So let's say the energy source. So if I'm gonna go to, and let's say the sources, and like we can say the solar versus wind. So let's say the solar versus the wind. So let's say, and you versus the hydropowers. So let's say the, if I'm gonna say the hydropower, or let's say the in something like in terms of cost, and let's say the scalability. And if I'm gonna go to and say the scalability and the environment impact. So let's say the environment impact. Okay, so let's, or if I'm gonna say the impact over here, so let's say the scalability or environment something we need to do. Okay, so this is the hydropowers. Let's use the resource or sources like over here, then press the enter. So it here gives a structure comparisons like perfect for report or also is or essay or decisions making. Okay, like here, so we have the ChatGPT response with the great questions. Let's compare solar's wind and hydropower across like cost, scalability, and environmental impact in a clear tables format for easy understanding. Okay, so this is the renewable energy comparisons with the factor solar energy, wind or like wind energy, and also the hydro power. Okay, now let's move into the brainstorming research topics. Like if you are a student or content creator, brainstorming's idea is top. So like here, if I gonna ask, or let's go with the example. Let's say the suggest, or before that, so let's move into the new chat and let's say the suggest something like the 10 unique, or let's go with the unique research and like research topic about artificial. So let's say the artificial intelligence or AI in health. Okay, so or the healthcare, and that's it. So now ChatGPT generates a list you can refine further, helping you kickstart project quickly. Like here, AI driven early disease predictions using multi omics data, and there is the explainable AI like XAI for clinical decision supports, and there is the 10 topics with the like unique research topics about AI in healthcare. Okay, so and that is with the research topic. So now let's move into the fact checking and source linking. So while ChatGPT is powerful, it's not always accurate. So that's why you should fact check import or importance or claims. So like here, if I gonna ask the ChatGPT, like ask the ChatGPT something like give me reliable. So let's say the reliable source, like let's say the source on the economic or effects of remote work. Okay, so then the take the generate suggestions and also like verify them through officials report or Google scholars. So like here we have like that, there's one reliable source and economic effects and remotes over here. You can now see here we have like the sources, you can check with like the there's one, and this is the news and policy reports over there. Okay, so and that's it. So think of ChatGPT as a guide, not the final authority. So now let's move into the ChatGPT for automations. So like ChatGPT can automate repetitive tasks like emails, report, and templates. So let's move into the automating writing tasks. So for that, so let's promote something like we can just say the write a polite email, or like reminding something like say the reminding a client about, let's say the about an overdue invoice. Okay, so let's say the invoice. And also now that here we can find now the these ones like our result is professionals draft. You can copy paste and customize, like you have like the friendly reminder overdue invoice, like you need to invoice or input the invoice number, client's names you should input here. Like here I hope you are doing well. I'm just following up regarding invoice number, so you should include over here, and which was due on like due date you should include. And this is our I am completely understand that things can get busy, so I wanted to send a gentle reminder in case it slipped through. Okay, so here we have the full completed email. So this saves times while maintaining consistency and professionalism. Okay, so and here now let's move into the content creations automations. So writer and marketers or creators can generate like social media post, blog outlines, or video script instantly. So for example, let's say if I type something the right say the 3 Instagram, so let's say the Instagram captions, let's say the captions for fitness brand, and one funny, let's say, and the motivationals, and one funny, one motivationals. So let's say the motivationals, and let's say the one the professionals. So let's say the professionals over here, then press the enter. Now it generates like multiple tones, so you can pick the best one. Like the first one is squats. I thought you said short of waters, stay or hydrate, false. Okay, so this is the funny, and there is the motivationals also, and there is the professionals. Okay, so and that's it with the content creations automations. So now let's move into the workflow, like we integrations with tools. So beyond chats, you can connect ChatGPT with other tools using automations platform like the Japier's, Make, or Notions. So like here, if I gonna use the example like new customers sign up with the ChatGPT and draft welcome emails, and emails is the automatically sent, and also meetings not like recorded, ChatGPT summarize and summarize summary saved in the Google Doc, and this turns ChatGPT into a productivity engine. Okay, so and while ChatGPT is powerful, remember these best practices like always fact check article or critical informations and provide clear details promotes for better response, and also use ChatGPT to assist, not replace your own thinking. So be mindful of privacy, don't share sensitive personal data. So by following this, and you will use ChatGPT effectively and safely. So in these lessons, we explore how like ChatGPT can enhance your learning, research, and automations workflow. So we show how it can act as a personal tutor for learning, a research assistant for summarizing and brainstorming, and automations tools for saving times on repetitive tasks. So as you practice, you will discover even more creative ways to integrate ChatGPT into your daily work and studies. So in the next lessons, we will continue exploring how AI tools can supercharge your productivity.